In the far reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, nestled within a spiraling arm of glittering stars, lay the planet Elisara. Its landscapes were painted with vast emerald forests and azure seas, a jewel among planets. However, Elisara harbored a grave secret. The survival of its ruling species, the Thelian, was teetering on the brink of extinction. Queen Elara, ruler of the Thelian, was the epitome of her kind's grace and intelligence. With bioluminescent skin that shimmered under the twin suns and eyes like molten gold, she commanded not only the respect but also the adoration of her people. Yet beneath her regal exterior, a profound dread gnawed at her. The Thelian were dying. A mysterious genetic malaise had seeped into their bloodlines, rendering the majority of the populace sterile. Decades of research had yielded no solution, and their scientists were desperate. Desperation led to audacious solutions. The Thelian Council of Elders, after much deliberation, decided to seek help from the only species known to have advanced genetic technology that could potentially reverse their dire circumstances, the humans of Earth. Meanwhile, on Earth, the revelation of extraterrestrial life had shattered worldviews and remolded the global political landscape. When the Thelian emissaries first arrived, their arrival was met with a mixture of awe and fear. The United Nations Space Coalition, UNSC, had since established tentative diplomatic relations with the Thelian, driven by curiosity and a cautious desire for interstellar partnership. Captain James T. Mercer, a seasoned officer of the UNSC, was chosen to lead the human delegation to Elisara. His military record was impeccable, and his innate curiosity about alien civilizations made him the ideal candidate for this critical mission. Little did he know, his assignment would soon evolve from diplomatic envoy to something far more personal and critical. The journey to Elisara was long, but the UNSC's latest FTL, faster-than-light technology, had them arriving within weeks instead of decades. As Elisara loomed large before the spaceship's viewport, its beauty was undeniable. But so was the palpable tension that filled the air. Queen Elara awaited their arrival with a mixture of hope and trepidation. The fate of her people rested on the success of this alliance, an alliance that would propose something unprecedented. She knew what she had to ask of the humans was controversial, possibly even scandalous, but necessary. The formal meeting took place in the Thelian Great Hall, a marvel of bioluminescent architecture that seemed to be alive, pulsating with gentle light. Captain Mercer and his team, dressed in their ceremonial best, were struck by the splendor of it all. Queen Elara addressed the assembly, her voice both melodic and commanding. "Friends from Earth, we are grateful for your journey to our world. Our need is great, and our time short. As you are aware, our scientists have been unable to reverse the sterility afflicting our people. However, our research suggests that a combination of our DNA with that of a genetically compatible species could yield a solution. We believe that species is yours." A murmur ran through the delegation. The proposal was clear. A genetic union. But at what cost? Captain Mercer, understanding the gravity of the situation, responded diplomatically. "Your Highness, we are moved by your plight and driven by our shared desire for your people's survival. We will need to discuss this proposal extensively with our leaders on Earth. However, I assure you, we are here to help in any way we can." As the meeting adjourned, Queen Elara invited Captain Mercer to walk with her in the royal gardens. Under the light of Elisara's gentle suns, they discussed their worlds, their hopes, and the daunting path that lay ahead. "I know what I'm asking is not just scientific," Elara said, her voice softening. "It's personal and profound. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes for my people." Mercer looked into her golden eyes, seeing not just a queen, but a being fiercely determined to save her world. He nodded slowly, the weight of their potential union, diplomatic, scientific, and possibly personal, settling on his shoulders. As the twin suns set, casting long shadows over the luminescent foliage, a bond, tentative yet filled with the promise of new beginnings, began to form between human and Thelian. With the fate of an entire species hanging in the balance, the journey of Queen Elara and Captain Mercer was just beginning. As the Earth delegation convened to discuss Queen Elara's proposal, tensions were palpable. Captain Mercer found himself increasingly isolated as the debates raged on. The very notion of a genetic union between humans and Thelians, though scientifically intriguing, was fraught with ethical and political implications. Back on Earth, news of the Thelians' plight and the potential for a groundbreaking alliance spread like wildfire. Media outlets clamored over each other, each spinning the story to suit their angle. Some hailed it as the dawn of a new era in human evolution, while others decried it as meddling with nature on a cosmic scale. In the seclusion of the Elisaran Royal Library, Mercer and Elara pored over genetic data and medical records, seeking to understand the compatibility between their species. Dr. Lena Hart, the chief geneticist of the UNSC, assisted them. Her expertise was crucial in deciphering the complex Thelian genetic code, which was elegantly structured yet enigmatic. As they delved deeper into the genetic possibilities, Dr. Hart uncovered a startling revelation. "The compatibility is higher than we anticipated," she remarked, adjusting her glasses as she examined the holographic DNA strands floating in midair. However, implementing this could lead us into uncharted scientific territory. We'd essentially be creating a hybrid capable of blending the best traits of both species. Elara listened intently, her mind racing with the possibilities this presented. Not just a cure, but an enhancement, a chance to evolve her people into something even greater. "What are the risks?" she inquired, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions she felt. "The risks are considerable," Dr. Hart explained. "There's potential for unforeseen genetic anomalies, and any offspring would be a pioneer of a new genetic lineage. The ethical considerations are also non-trivial." Mercer watched the exchange, aware that his decision would not just affect interstellar relations, but also the very essence of human and Thelian existence. "Let's prepare a detailed report," he suggested. "Both our worlds deserve to understand exactly what's at stake here." The report took days to compile, filled with technical analyses, ethical considerations, and potential diplomatic repercussions. Meanwhile, Elara faced her own council, who were divided between preserving Thelian purity and embracing this bold new solution. Her leadership was tested, as she argued passionately for the survival and advancement of her species. Finally, the report was presented to a joint session of Earth and Thelian leaders via a secure interstellar communication link. Mercer took the lead, his voice firm yet empathetic as he detailed their findings. The response was mixed. Some were excited about the possibilities, others wary of the Pandora's box they were about to open. As the debates raged on, Elara and Mercer found solace in their growing friendship. During a walk through the luminescent Elisaran forests, Elara confided in Mercer. "No matter the decision, I fear for my people, James. This alliance, this union, it's more than political. It's personal." Mercer nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "It's personal for me too, Elara. What started as a mission has become much more. Whatever we decide, I'll stand by you." Their bond, forged in the crucible of cosmic necessity, deepened as they awaited the decision. It was a testament to the unpredictable and profound ways in which the universe brings disparate beings together, not just through shared goals, but through shared burdens. As Elisara's twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting a glow that seemed to set the sky aflame, the joint council reached a decision. The message was clear, delivered with a gravity befitting the monumental choice. They would proceed with the alliance. The future was uncertain, filled with risks and promises, but for the first time in generations, the Thelians saw a glimmer of hope, a chance to not just survive, but thrive. In the heart of Elisara, a new facility rose, designed to be the crucible where human and Thelian genetics would merge. This structure, gleaming with the elegance of Thelian architecture and fortified with Earth's technological prowess, represented more than a lab. It was a beacon of unity. Inside, Dr. Hart and her Thelian counterpart, Ceylon, a master of genetic sciences, began their meticulous work. The lab was a symphony of interstellar collaboration, with screens displaying complex genetic sequences and bioreactors cultivating samples of hybrid cells. As the geneticists dove into their work, Mercer and Elara oversaw the construction of a broader infrastructure to support the new hybrid population. Education systems, cultural exchange programs, and biocompatible living environments were designed, blending the best of both worlds. Mercer found himself learning the Thelian language, its fluid tones and intricate gestures a challenge to his linguistically inclined mind. Elara, in turn, took a keen interest in human philosophy and arts, finding solace and inspiration in the works of Earth's greatest thinkers and artists. The first breakthrough in the lab came unexpectedly. A hybrid cell line, initially unstable, began showing signs of robustness, adapting and evolving right before their eyes. Ceylon, examining the data late one night, called Dr. Hart over. "Look at this," he said, pointing at the flickering hologram. "The cells have achieved stability by integrating human DNA in a way we didn't predict. It's beautiful." Dr. Hart, equally amazed, documented every parameter of this development. This breakthrough was not just scientific, it was a vindication of their shared vision. "We should prepare for the first gestation trial," she proposed, aware of the magnitude of their next steps. Meanwhile, Elara faced dissent among her people. A faction led by Virik, a high-ranking but conservative council member, opposed the hybridization project. "We are changing what it means to be Thelian," Virik argued in a heated council meeting. "This is not evolution, it's erasure." Elara, standing regal and resolute before her council, addressed the dissent. "What is Thelian is not just our past, but our future. We must be brave enough to evolve, to embrace what we can become with our friends from Earth. It is not erasure, Virik. It is survival." The argument was tense, but with Mercer's support and the successful lab results, Elara swayed the majority. The project continued, but the dissent simmered, a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Preparations for the first gestation trial were meticulous. An environment replicating the best conditions from both worlds was crafted. Elara and Mercer, often found side by side, watched as the first hybrid embryo was carefully implanted into a specially designed incubator. The incubation period was filled with anticipation and tension. Teams of human and Thelian scientists monitored the embryo's development, noting every sign of success and addressing any anomalies swiftly. The potential for a new life form, a bridge between two species, kept the entire team on edge. As the gestation period neared its end, the facility became a focal point for both worlds. Broadcasts showed the progress of the project, and people from Earth and Elisara watched with bated breath, hoping for a sign of success. The day the incubator signaled the commencement of the birthing process, Elara and Mercer stood together, watching as the life they had hoped to create began to make its way into the universe. The air was thick with emotion as the first cries of the hybrid filled the room, a sound both alien and familiar. The baby, a perfect blend of human resilience and Thelian grace, was named Elara, a symbol of unity and hope. As she was presented to the world, her cry echoed not just through the facility but across galaxies, a sound heralding a new dawn for all. The emergence of Elara ignited a firestorm of media coverage across both species' territories. Her existence was a testament to the success of the human-Thelian alliance, yet it also intensified the debates about the ethical implications of such genetic integrations. As Elara grew, so did the public's fascination with her, her every milestone celebrated and scrutinized under the interstellar spotlight. Elara, understanding the symbolic importance of Elara, orchestrated public appearances to showcase the unity and potential of their two species coexisting. These events, carefully managed, often showed Elara interacting with both human and Thelian children, a living bridge between two worlds. Meanwhile, in the lab where Elara's genesis had begun, Dr. Hart and Ceylon continued their research, encouraged by the success. They initiated further hybrid embryos, each step forward monitored with a mix of hope and meticulous scientific rigor. The facility expanded, becoming a hub of genetic innovation, attracting scientists and researchers from across the galaxy eager to contribute to this new field of xenogenetics. Mercer, who had become a frequent visitor to the facility, was deeply involved in the diplomatic ramifications of the project. The initial resistance he had faced from Earth's political factions had softened as Elara's healthy development became apparent. However, the military and strategic implications of the hybrid project were not lost on him. Alliances and power dynamics were shifting, with Earth and Elisara at the center of this new cosmic arrangement. One day, as Mercer and Elara observed Elara playing in a specially designed habitat that mimicked the environments of both Earth and Elisara, Mercer shared his concerns. "We've created something incredible here, Elara, but it's also incredibly fragile. This alliance, this peace, it's all hinged on the success of integrating our peoples through Elara and those who will follow her." Elara nodded, her expression thoughtful. "I share your concerns, James. Virak and his faction are still a potent threat. They see Elara not as a symbol of hope, but as a harbinger of the loss of Thelian purity. We must strengthen our position, ensure that this alliance is seen not just as beneficial, but essential." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent message from Dr. Hart. They rushed to the lab where Dr. Hart and Ceylon awaited them with tense faces. "There's been a complication with one of the new embryos," Dr. Hart announced gravely. "We've encountered genetic anomalies that we haven't seen before. It's resisting all our established protocols." The news was a blow to the buoyant optimism that had carried the project forward. Illyria's face hardened with resolve as she addressed the room. "What do we need to solve this?" "We need to push further into human genetic technology," Ceylon suggested, his voice steady despite the setback. "Perhaps there are aspects of human genetics that we've overlooked that could stabilize the Thelian sequences we're struggling with." Mercer agreed, realizing the solution lay in deeper collaboration. "I'll arrange for additional support from Earth's leading genetic institutes. We'll provide whatever resources you need." As they worked to resolve the genetic crisis, Mercer and Elara found themselves increasingly drawn to each other, their shared challenges fostering a deeper bond. In quiet moments, away from the pressing demands of their work, they discussed dreams of a future where humans and Thelians could live not just in alliance, but as one integrated society. The efforts in the lab eventually bore fruit. The new protocols, enriched by Earth's advanced genetic technologies, stabilized the embryos. The crisis averted, the project resumed its course, but the scare had reinvigorated the opposition. Virak's voice grew louder, his message resonating with those Thelians who feared the dilution of their heritage. He began organizing rallies, speaking passionately about the need to cease the hybridization project. As tensions escalated, Mercer and Elara prepared for the possibility of civil unrest. They bolstered security around the facility and planned public addresses to reinforce the benefits of the project, not just for the present generation, but for countless generations to come. Amidst these swirling currents of political, scientific, and personal turmoil, the world watched, waited, and wondered about the future of this unprecedented union. The stakes were higher than ever, the eyes of the universe watching every move they made. As Elara grew, her unique traits began to manifest more clearly, bridging human and Thelian characteristics in ways both wondrous and, to some, unsettling. She displayed extraordinary cognitive abilities, absorbing information at a pace that outstripped her peers, both human and Thelian. Her emotional intelligence was equally remarkable, often mediating playground disputes with an empathy that belied her young age. Mercer watched Elara's development with a mix of pride and concern. The global spotlight on her had intensified, making every aspect of her life subject to public scrutiny. Protecting her privacy became a constant challenge, as did ensuring her safety against growing threats from radical groups opposed to the hybridization initiative. Meanwhile, Virak's opposition found fertile ground among those who feared change. His rhetoric evolved, casting the hybrid project not only as a threat to Thelian purity, but also as a dangerous precedent that could lead other species down similar paths, potentially destabilizing entire planetary ecosystems and societies. In an effort to counteract the rising dissent, Elara and Mercer organized a series of public forums, both on Earth and Elisara. They showcased the scientific successes of the hybrid project and presented data on the improved health and abilities of the hybrid children, arguing that these advancements could lead to better disease resistance and longer lifespans for all. During one such forum, a heated debate erupted. A Thelian scientist challenged Dr. Hart, questioning the long-term implications of hybrid genetics. What assurances can you give that these new traits won't become dominant, overshadowing pure Thelian characteristics over generations? Dr. Hart responded calmly, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. Genetic diversity is the cornerstone of evolutionary success. The traits that benefit survival and adaptation will naturally be favored, whether they are Thelian or human. Our goal is not to overshadow, but to enhance, to create resilience through diversity. The debate was broadcast live and the reaction was mixed. While many were persuaded by the reasoned arguments of Dr. Hart and her team, others remained skeptical, their fears not allayed by scientific rationale. As these public debates unfolded, the security around Elara and the other hybrid children was tightened. Mercer personally oversaw the installation of advanced surveillance systems and vetted security personnel, his military background proving invaluable in these efforts. Elara, meanwhile, faced increasing political pressure. Her decisions were scrutinized by her council, some of whom echoed Virek's concerns. To strengthen her position, she sought to forge additional alliances with other alien races, presenting the hybrid project as a beacon of innovation and cooperation in the galaxy. This strategy led to a groundbreaking summit on Elisara, attended by representatives from multiple alien civilizations. Elara presented the achievements of the hybrid project, emphasizing its potential benefits not just to Thelians and humans, but to all species interested in genetic and health advancements. The summit was a success, with several species expressing interest in learning from the project and even participating in similar initiatives. This international interstellar support bolstered Elara's standing, but it also intensified the resolve of the opposition, who saw it as a dilution of the galaxy's natural genetic heritage. In the midst of these swirling political currents, Mercer and Elara continued to find solace in their shared commitment to the project. Their relationship deepened, bound by mutual respect and a shared vision for a future where their peoples could coexist harmoniously. As Elara's 5th birthday approached, a grand celebration was planned, one that would not only be a festivity of her life, but also a symbol of the unity and success of the hybrid project. Security was at an all-time high, and the eyes of the galaxy were on Elisara, waiting to see what the future would hold for this young emblem of hope. The anticipation for Elara's birthday was palpable across both Earth and Elisara, with preparations reflecting the dual heritage of the celebrated hybrid child. Decorations blended Earth's vibrant colors with Elisara's luminescent patterns, creating a spectacle of light and joy. Cultural exhibits and performances were scheduled to showcase the arts and traditions of both species, symbolizing the integration and mutual respect that had been fostered through the hybrid project. On the day of the celebration, guests from various planets gathered, their diverse appearances a testament to the interstellar community that the project had touched. Security was discreet yet omnipresent, Mercer ensuring that the focus remained on unity and celebration, not on the underlying tensions. As the festivities commenced, Elara, dressed in a gown that shimmered with both Earth fabrics and Thelian threads, was a sight of awe. Her laughter, clear and joyful, echoed through the venue, a sound that brought smiles to everyone's faces. Elara and Mercer, standing by her side, greeted their guests, their pride in Elara evident. The event was not just a birthday party. It was a showcase of what the future could look like. Scientists shared updates on the project, displaying data on the hybrid's progress, health, and abilities. Cultural ambassadors spoke of the deepening ties between humans and Thelians, the shared educational programs, and the plans for future collaborative efforts. However, amidst the celebration, a crisis was brewing. Unbeknownst to the attendees, Virek had orchestrated a plan to disrupt the event, to make a bold statement against what he viewed as a dangerous path forward. As the main performances began, a group of dissenters infiltrated the security perimeter, their intentions to sabotage the event hidden beneath cloaks of feigned festivity. Their movement was almost undetected, but Mercer's vigilant eyes caught a subtle anomaly in their behavior. He quietly signaled the security team, who moved in with precision. The dissidents were intercepted before they could enact their plan, and the disturbance was handled discreetly, ensuring that the celebration continued without alarm. Elara, informed of the incident through a secure channel, was resolute. Addressing the crowd, she chose to turn the moment into a reaffirmation of their purpose. "Today we celebrate not just Elara's life but our collective future," she announced, her voice steady and inspiring. "Challenges and disagreements are part of our journey, but let us remember that every step we take towards unity is a step towards a stronger, more resilient society." Her speech, met with roaring applause, underscored the commitment of the majority to the vision of a harmonious, integrated future. The incident, rather than casting a shadow, highlighted the strength and readiness of the community to defend the progress they had achieved. As the celebration continued, the night sky above was lit with a spectacular display of lights, a fusion of Earth's fireworks and Elisara's sky dances. The guests, looking up, were reminded of the beauty that could arise from blending different worlds. The event concluded on a high note, with Elara's innocent delight in the festivities, reminding everyone of the pure, simple goals at the heart of their efforts: peace, understanding, and the well-being of future generations. In the days following the celebration, the thwarted disruption served as a catalyst for more robust discussions about security and the integration of dissenting voices into the ongoing dialogue. Elara and Mercer worked even closer, formulating policies that would ensure all voices were heard, but not at the expense of the project's core objectives. As peace and progressive initiatives continued to develop, the bond between Earth and Elisara, symbolized by Elara and the growing number of hybrid children, blossomed. The challenges were many, but the commitment to overcome them was unwavering, driven by the shared dream of a united future, thriving on the foundation of diversity and mutual respect. The path ahead was illuminated by the promise of what they had already achieved, and by the endless possibilities that lay before them in the stars above.